Okay, so I was a very stupid boy a few days ago. I said that if Charles Leclerc won at Monza, I would go to the centre of London and shout at the top of my voice, "I'm not a fanboy, just passionate." We are now here in central London for my own dare. I'm not a fanboy, just passionate! Well, that was a little bit awkward, wasn't it? A little bit cringy. I mean, the internet loves a bit of cringe. I can now no longer walk in London without being stared at and look like a bit of a weirdo. But welcome to the internet's best reactions to the Italian Grand Prix. As you can imagine, I'm quite a happy bunny, even though I can no longer be a normal person in London. Let's get into the best #WTF1 moments from the Grand Prix. Right, start of the race, all the cars flying down towards turn one. It's quite a tight one, so it's very much, well, you'd think it's single file, but it absolutely wasn't. Max Verstappen was one of those that needed a good start after Spa, where he crashed into Kimi Raikkonen, and that was the end of his race. At _Chevywood, Max Verstappen hits Perez and loses front wing. Nico Rosberg, he's dangerous. Now, I don't know if you've seen the controversy around this all, but Rosberg and Verstappen, mainly Verstappen, really attacking Rosberg recently about him just kind of being irrelevant and stuff like that. I highly recommend you guys read up on that because it's hilarious. But yeah, Max still managed to crash in turn one, and he genuinely was going about 3 miles an hour, but Perez was going 0. So it was a crash and kind of ruined Verstappen's race again. Another really good battle at the start of the race was Alex Albin versus Carlos Sainz. Now, Albin, I mean, goodness me, into that second chicane, there was a car's width, and he absolutely went for it. Even the commentator, I think Martin Brundle, literally went, like, oh my goodness. And it was genuinely shocking, and we thought, damn, what a move. And that's exactly what Red Bull want to see from Alex Albin, is those kind of moves. But Carlos Sainz came back at him, then had the inside for Lesmo 1. Alex Albin then tried to go all the way around the outside, went, oh, I'm sorry, Sonny Jim, that ain't gonna work, especially if Sainz gets a little swapper, and see you later, Albin in the gravel. But he got away with it. There was not really any damage from what I could see, and he dropped 2 or 3 positions. So not the end of the world, but great action. I probably should talk about the GIF as well. That's the whole point of this show. At Martani30, replay of Albin versus Sainz, and it was just that helicopter cam looking down where all the trees were just there over Lesmo 1, so you couldn't see anything. Then Albin was in the gravel. So I think they needed trim. Another huge moment during the Italian Grand Prix was, of course, going through Ascari, finding a Ferrari facing half the wrong way. Sebastian Vettel spun again. At radioactive_sure, Vettel spins and unsafely rejoins track, hitting Stroll in the process. TV director. Now, I was absolutely fuming that they cut to the crowd when Vettel was sideways. However, there was a few theories that maybe they did that purely because of last week's events, which again, I can kind of understand if that was the reasoning. But at the same time, we were kind of there like, well, what's happened? Well, did he hit Stroll? Did he not? And then we saw Stroll off. Then Stroll just decided, you know what, I'm going to rejoin the track as well, even though he just complained about Vettel doing exactly the same thing. So it was carnage. I mean, it was all because of Vettel, and I can't believe he spun again, especially when he said, I think a few laps before, he was getting a bit of a twitch on, but then he eventually lost it. It's just so odd. Is it pressure? Is it him not being able to drive hybrid cars? I don't know. The huge battle during the race was, of course, Hamilton versus Leclerc. Leclerc held on to pole position into turn 1, lap 1, held on to the lead the entire race, but Hamilton was charging, especially when he pitted 1 lap before Leclerc, going onto the mediums. Leclerc went on to the hards, just about managed to stay ahead of Hamilton, and then they duelled. At Aeroplane Kelly, every time Hamilton thought he was close enough to Leclerc to make a move. How many times do we need to teach you this lesson, old man? It was genuinely like the old guard versus the new. Leclerc got his elbows out, and for me, at some points, it was touch and go, you have to say. I think the one for me that really got me was the Curva Grande when Charles kind of turned and almost weaved in front of Hamilton. I thought that was a little bit dodgy. I thought the other one where he got the black and white flag was probably about fair. I know some people are saying, oh, well, you know, Max would have got a penalty, blah, 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 but the stewards are trying to be more lenient for these kind of things. So you can kind of understand it, that was kind of a black and white flag because Hamilton didn't end up in the wall, we didn't lose a front wing, and he was still very much in the fight. But those few laps were crucial because Hamilton was so much faster, but he just couldn't get through because the Ferrari of every flipping corner, especially Parabolica, goodbye. Now Hamilton was charging, fighting, he pushed so hard but could not get past the Ferrari, so much so his tyres fell off. He then locked up into turn 1 and Valtteri Bottas was like, "Thank you very much, sir, I will be coming through to have my attempt at the victory." But that was not a great attempt, was it? At Prix Alexander, Bottas when a win is possible. I don't know, was there many people out there that really believed he was going to get it? I thought maybe when he was within half a second when Charles made that mistake. I think it was through Ascari maybe. But then Bottas just made a mistake literally like 2 corners later into turn 1, locked up. That was it. That was game over. But yeah, I didn't really believe Valtteri was going to do it. It just wasn't the same as, I sound like a Hamilton fanboy now, but you get what I mean, right? Hamilton just has that edge. Especially when Bottas just kind of usually sits behind and finishes 5 seconds behind his teammate. And finally, Charles Leclair going over the line to wrap up the best #WTF1 moments of the race at Jack Iwasaki 2. Me watching Leclair going around the last corner. How good was that camera shot? Looking into Parabolica, seeing the grandstands absolutely going mental. You can tell how much it means to them. I've seen a video of just Italian people driving around Maranello with Ferrari flags waving out their windows. It's just awesome. And I'm so happy for, the fans, for Ferrari to win at Monza, because it almost saves their season in a lot of ways, because they win their home Grand Prix and it's a huge, huge deal. So yeah, there was some serious chills, especially for me. Go Charles. Not a fanboy, just passionate. Oh no, we got one more #WTF1 moment, but this was after the race. This was when Martin Brundle went to interview Charles Leclerc at Josh_Trappett. Martin looking at Leclerc when he started to speak in Italian post-race. Because he was like, "Oh, how did the race go, blah, blah, blah. Is it all right if I speak in Italian? Yeah, sure." And then he was just kind of there like, I don't understand a word you're saying. Yeah, it was a funny post-interview. Post-interview? Post-race interview. That's the one. Okay, now we're going to go into my top 5 F1 moments anywhere I've found them. They usually are on Twitter, don't get me wrong. I think there's one from Instagram as well. But let's dive into my top ones. First one is at Matzel89. I like how quick F1 adapts the TV graphics. That was the starting grid. And God, Lando and his bloomin' Valentino Rossi hat and merchandise. I can't. The guy's a bigger fan of Valentino Rossi than I am Charles Leclerc. That's saying something. At Ricky Virado, I imagine that's supposed to say Ricardo. Alonso, hey, I'm going to come watch the race this weekend. Honda engines. It's amazing how they actually had blow-ups, and whilst Alonso was there. He is cursed. That man is cursed. As is this room, apparently. The lights are out, and away we go. Right, the lights are back on at Troll Sports, the new hero. I thought this was a really cool picture. Obama, Trump, and then Leclerc. He's not some sort of president, but Charles is now immortalised within the Ferrari family. He can do no wrong now. He has won at Monza. Now in this top 5 segment, it actually allows me to choose driver tweets as well and driver posts. And Lando Norris can now feature in Internet's Best Reactions in this way. This was brilliant. Qualifying obviously was absolutely mental. We don't usually mention qualifying, but it needs a shout out because it was just carnage. It was just, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. I loved it personally. I know a lot of people didn't really like it as much because it was like, oh, I didn't actually get to see the final hot lap of everybody, but I thought it was hilarious. The drama was right up here. So Lando, personally, I thought that was the best Q3 ever. Yeah, what a meme lord. F1.madness on Instagram. Fits in with the whole Lando being a fanboy. No one, Lando. Brilliant. Absolutely. I love it. I love the hat as well. He has absolutely no shame. And that's why he's loved so much. Go on, Lando. Social Media Team Championship time now, and of course we are back to normal now. Last week was a special tribute to Antoine Hubert, every team scoring 3 points. This week we are back to 1 point for third, 2 points for second, and 3 points for first. Let's get into who's got points for the Italian Grand Prix. In third place, it is the current leaders, Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula 1 team. And this was actually from qualifying, and I thought it was brilliant because qualifying was so awesome that it deserves a tweet that comes into the Internet's Best Reactions. Q3 be like. That gif is absolutely perfect. I'm actually disappointed it's only got that many likes. That should have banged, but it gets 1 point. In second place, this tweet actually came in about 10 minutes before filming, so this team has very much snatched it at the end. It is Scuderia Ferrari. What has happened to their social media accounts? We just took a DNA test, turns out we're 100. Yeah, you get it. That, I can't believe Ferrari have posted that. But also, it scores points. So clearly, there's someone actually replied to it saying, or maybe another one which was a bit edgy, saying that they're falling behind in Social Media Team Championship and they need to catch up. And I think this is the way they're going to do it. So good work, Scuderia Ferrari. And finally, in first position, I think it's quite fitting with this video and what I had to do at the start. 3 points go to McLaren F1. Now, I was tweeting, this was actually the tweet that I said about if Charles Leclair wins, I will go to central London and shout and whatnot. And they replied with, I'm not a fanboy, just passionate. And then with a picture of Lando in his hat. I think it's a fitting end to the Social Media Team Championship, so well done, McLaren. That's 1 point for Sport Pace and Racing Formula 1 team, that's 2 points for Scuderia Ferrari, and 3 points for McLaren F1.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Race rundown time, and I'm a very happy boy because I get to start it with Leclerc. Let's do this. The finishers of the Italian Grand Prix were Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, that's fifth. Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Albin, Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Albin! Leclerc, Bottas, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Albin, Perez, Verstappen, Giovinazzi, Norris, Gasly, Stroll, Vettel, Russell, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Kubica. Smashed it. And the non-finishers were Magnussen, Kvyat, Sainz, Magnussen, Kvyat, Sainz, Sainz, Kvyat, Magnussen. There you go. Sainz, Kvyat, Magnussen. And that is it for the internet's best reactions to the Italian Grand Prix. We had some controversy, some drama, some elbows. It was a great race and it had Charles Leclerc on the top step of the podium, and it also meant I had to go shout in London and make some cringeworthy content. So hey, you guys enjoyed it. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media and we will pick the very best ones to be featured in this show. I hope you kind of like the format. We did a few tweaks because I know there was a few comments about things, and so we've made a few changes. Hope you enjoyed them. Let us know if you did, and if you didn't, let us know as well. I'm sure you will. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for Singapore Grand Prix. Goodbye!